We're in the land of Harry Potter.
What?
I'm just doing the vlog. So, it's been kind of a really tiresome travel week in general. A lot of travel, a lot of craziness. But we're here for 2 hours. We're gonna
Yeah.
go home. After our brief but crazy stay to Norway, it had to end. And we rushed to get a flight, and the flight that we ended up booking was a British Airways flight that left before Norway officially closed their borders at 8 a.m. And we landed at Heathrow. And we had a brief layover at Heathrow. It was our first time in London, and a very brief time. That was us saying bye to our friends, and then we had to get lunch. We got lunch at Wagamama, and I've never been to Wagamama before, and I have to say it was really good. My husband got the English breakfast. He enjoyed it a lot. And I went Asian and I got teriyaki beef with noodles, and it's okay because I'm half Asian and I can eat noodles whenever I want to. And that juice was phenomenal. You need to definitely get that juice if you're ever there. I forgot what it was, but it's good. The flight itself, we got economy plus seating. And because my husband, as you can tell, his legs, he's 6'7", he's very tall, so we needed that extra space. As you can tell, I'm 5'7", and I have plenty of space. And because this was like the craziness of Corona shutting down everything, we were actually really curious to see how full the flight would be. And the flight was actually very packed. We boarded, I think, third because we had economy plus, so we boarded after first class and families, and also what is it, business class. But I have to say boarding was a little chaotic, and once we got on the plane, everybody, like, you could tell everybody was like wiping down their seats and their trays and stuff like that. But I have to say the seats were pretty fine. My husband, because of his legs, he said that stool actually prevented him from really stretching out. He said Scandinavian Airlines flight was a little bit nicer in the seat, but British Airways was a little bit wider. And then they gave you, oh my gosh, did they feed you on this flight? They made sure that we were not starved because hangry people are not happy people, and British Airways was not taking that chance. We got this, we got a snack, we had a drink, then we got our entree. I didn't want to risk getting the fish, so no, it wasn't fish, I think it was beef. I wanted the beef, but they ran out, so I got the chicken. It was the chicken dish. I can't remember what it was called, but it's British. I couldn't pronounce anything pretty much on that menu, but I have to say that chicken was phenomenal. It was probably one of the best air. It doesn't look like much, but it was one of the best airplane meals I've ever had. And they gave you a little ice cream, and then before we landed at Dulles, they gave us pizza. The pizza was pretty bad. It wasn't good at all, but it was halal. So if you're, Muslim, it's halal. So the coronavirus form. So pretty much like after our pizza or ice cream, I can't remember which came last. We were given this form by the British Airway crew, and we had to fill it out. And then when we were about to get off the plane, they actually told anybody that's been in these countries that they actually had to stay behind. And so we waited about 30 minutes. They let everybody else that wasn't in one of those countries get off the airplane. Even though if we're all on the same airplane, we've all been exposed to each other's germs. To me, it seemed a little weird. I'm like, we've all been exposed to each other, 8 hours on a flight. But, whatever, rules are rules. So we waited, and then we got off, and then they took us to the health and, like, the health checkpoint. And I thought we would like get screened or like tested. Like, I don't know why I thought we would get tested automatically, but I thought we at least get our temperature checked. They did not check our temperatures. They just pretty much said, "Were you in this country?" And you were like, "Yes," "No," or whatever, and then we were allowed to leave. And that was pretty much it for the checkpoint. And then we got put into a huge room with, through passport control, people on top of each other. So I'm like, I told my husband, I'm like, if we are exposed to it, we're going to be exposed in the passport control line. I mean, there's just herds of people on top of each other in this room, and we weren't thankfully we weren't like, there was early reports that people were stuck in this like area for like 3 or 4 hours at other airport. We were stuck there for about an hour and a half before we were able to get through passport control. And I'm not sure if is it TSA? I'm not sure who does the passport or borders control, or U.S. borders. He was just like, they keep changing the rules every 5 seconds. I don't know what we do now, but I'm just gonna do my job. I was like, you do your job, do your thing. And you know, I've had people ask me like, do you regret going? I don't regret going. It was an amazing trip. I have memories that will stay with me forever. It was so stressful. Like, I wish I had vlogged more, but it was just so much stress. I mean, we had a rough travel day because of mechanical issues. Then we were in a rush to get to Finsa, and then when we got the Finsa, like the coronavirus craziness was happening. It was just like so much like stress after stress after stress. You know, like, how do we get home? When can we get home? You know, like, just, it was just craziness. And then I finally was able to be just completely like, when our butts were on the British Airway plane going from Heathrow to Dulles. And then finally was like, oh, we're going home. So thankful we're going home. You know, as much as I love traveling, that was so stressful. And, you know, it was craziness. And I would never want to do it again in that aspect. But would I travel internationally in the future? Definitely. You know, I am a part-time travel agent. I don't really mention that a lot on the channel, but you know, it was like, so the other travel agents were talking about, you know, like all this. I was like, I can't really recommend traveling internationally just at this time. Not that I have my client base is more Disney and Universal. I'm like, I would, you know, domestic travel, yeah, let's book your trip. International travel, I would be like very, very hesitant at this moment to book anything international. Like, my goal for 2020 for my travel agency business was to expand into more all-inclusives. I had planned to go to Cancun, I had planned to go to the DR, I had planned to go to Costa Rica, but now those plans are canceled. I mean, at least I got my master agent certificate through AM Resorts. So, you know, I've been doing other things with travel, but I just can't really make much money right now because no one's traveling. But I've just been taking care of the few clients that I do have for their upcoming travel. I plan to travel to Disney, and like, it was funny, I hadn't planned to go to Universal or Disney at all for the rest of the year. I mean, or at all this year. I had one trip for a conference, but that got canceled. And I wasn't going to go because I was going to concentrate on all-inclusives. But now it's like, well, can't go international, so I will go back to Disney and Universal. We haven't decided. I need to recover. And I was like, you know, I'm taking Corona as a time to like reorganize my finances, pay down some debt before, you know, we go back into any fun stuff, because adulting rules the life sometimes. So, but I mean, it was an incredible trip. I don't regret it. I did get tested for the coronavirus antibodies. I can't say that word. I was negative for IgG and IgM. I did take vlogging footage. I feel so unnatural doing those styles of vlog, because they're not related to travel, but I don't know, if you're interested, I'll post that. But yeah, so yeah, that was our trip to Norway. And, you know, oh, the British Airways, we got an amenities kit. I didn't show that off because, again, stressing, you know, it was such stressful travel. We got headphones, and then we got a blanket, which I wish I took because it was so comfy. It was one of the more comfy blankets I've ever seen. And I guess eye patchy thingies, not eye patch, but you know. And then, I didn't even look at this. I have no idea what this is. Oh, socks. Those are very tubular socks. And then toothpaste, oh yeah, small vial of toothpaste. And, oh, whatever this is. Oh, lip balm. Oh, it's lip balm. Okay. Yeah. So, and a cute little makeup pouch. So I need lip balm, actually. That's a good good thing I opened that up. So yeah, so there's no complaints about the British Airways flights. I've actually heard of a lot of negative things about them, but we had a fantastic time. I mean, the crew was awesome, and you know, they definitely fed us. They made sure we were fed. But other than that, I mean, there is no complaints about the flight. Like I mentioned, Chris felt it was a little bit wider, but the seat length was a little bit shorter. But yeah, I mean, I definitely would consider using them again in future travels. And so yeah, so I think that's it. Like and subscribe. See you for future videos, and take care.